Welcome to the Strategic Insights Podcast. I'm your moderator, Andrew Makl. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with John Schmidt. We're sitting here today doing a new product spotlight. Haven't done many of those. We're excited about it. John is leading this product category for us. John is the Vice President of Managed Services and Security for Strategic Information Group. And this topic that we're talking about, that we're excited about, the new product, if you will, is QAD Defense Cloud. Before we jump into what that is and why it's important for people listening, let's give you a little background on John and his role in our organization. John, if you could do an introduction.
Yeah, so John Schmidt, I'm the VP of Managed Services and Security, and I've been with Strategic about 11 years now, leading the Managed Services practice from a technical standpoint for most of that. More recently, branching out into the app and functional support, EDI support, and now the QAD Defense Cloud in the AWS GovCloud, along with hosting.
Awesome. Obviously, I work directly with you. You know, you've been helping drive a lot of things that we do, supporting our customers in app and tech. But Defense Cloud is interesting for us because this is a little bit of a new foray, but it's something that we've been trying to do because it's a requirement we've seen a lot of our customers need. Can you give us a little background on what Defense Cloud really is?
Yeah, so Defense Cloud is basically QAD Cloud, AUX enabled, and the latest and greatest QAD technologies available in a defense enabled environment. We host that in AWS GovCloud, which is FedRAMP high certified, and we'll be implementing that at a FedRAMP moderate level, which covers most of the requirements of DoD contracts, and also providing ITAR compliance in the Defense Cloud.
So you gave a lot of acronyms there that some people are going to be like, exactly what I'm looking for. But at a high level, what should people be knowing that Defense Cloud, like when are they ready to look for a Defense Cloud? Like what are some key indicators they're going to have come up at work?
Yeah, so they're basically going to have, they'll be bidding on defense contracts in their manufacturing organization. So they'll have specific requirements in those contracts for either CMMC or FedRAMP or ITAR compliance. And if any of those come up, or if you're storing controlled unclassified information in their ERP system in the manufacturing space, then they would qualify for moving over to the Defense Cloud as opposed to QAD Cloud.
Okay, so I think the term is CUI, right?
CUI.
So if CUI comes up and you're not necessarily doing defense, but you have that CUI data, that's the time that we should probably be having a conversation on if you're meeting requirements needed.
That's right, yeah.
Awesome. So do me a favor, we talked about this being a big piece because we've noticed customers have been doing it on-premise for themselves, but wanted really somebody else to help support them, and Strategic is coming to provide that. Who else in the industry right now can support them in this?
Strategic is actually the preferred partner, the only partner at this point that can provide that this service.
Awesome. So when people are out there, obviously we're not trying to tout that we're different than anybody else, but really we were given the ability to do this due to our industry expertise and of course the amount of time that you've been managing us and helping us get to this level.
Correct. Yeah, and we'd already been supporting a few customers on ITAR compliance through our North American-based resource pool. So. We had been supporting for about 7 years these requirements, so it just kind of came natural that QAD came to us and said, "Hey, we'd like you to take this on as our partner," and we've already sold about $18 million worth of
wow.
Of
so
Defense Cloud.
That's a big number, but I'm sure that depending on the size of the customer, that number can grow very quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So bringing those people on, what are they coming from? They're coming from an on-premise solution, and what are the heartaches that we're really taking off their plate?
Yeah, so they mostly are on-premise, usually in their own private cloud or on dedicated hardware, and they're basically looking for someone else to take that on for them. So we provide the infrastructure and the services to support that, so their IT team can focus on valuable business initiatives, provide more predictable spend for their IT, and just basically have a really high service level for support.
So, we broke down what nuances you need to be paying attention to that might make you qualify for the Defense Cloud. Obviously, those that are listening that actually managing their own Defense Cloud and why, of course, you'd want to offset that risk to somebody else managing it and taking care of it for you. For me, I guess the last part of it is when we're sitting there, we're happy to have conversations with customers because we know a lot of people are doing it on themselves. There's different flavors of trying to manage this, right? So I know that we have somebody we're doing Defense Cloud. I think it's different than our hosted solution, correct? Is there different flavors, or what's our go-to-market strategy with that?
Yeah, there's actually a few options. You can stay on premise with your own architecture and your own infrastructure, and we will support that and enable you to work with the latest and greatest QAD versions. Or you can actually move that into your own AWS GovCloud environment if that's what your requirements are, or you can move over to our hosted AWS GovCloud environment.
Okay. So I know that a lot of customers have been asking because they're trying to figure out if they can get there, and they're not really defense qualified, or they're not doing CUI,
Right.
specifically because of the level of service that we offer. Because we get touted for our level of satisfaction that we provide, especially from your team with app and tech and hosting. And I think that's something we really want to tout. When we look at Defense Cloud, are we tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? How does that break down with QAD? Because QAD is the owner of the software, but we're now the owner of the services and support.
Yeah, so from that standpoint, QAD provides the software for us to install and configure, do the data migrations and whatnot. But once you're up and running and live in the QAD Defense Cloud, Strategic takes on that support role. So we take on the tier 1 and tier 2 support role, along with QAD on tier 3 for like R&D, hot fixes, and those kind of things.
Okay, so we're the first line of defense, if you will.
Yeah.
And we're also the first person you're going to call, and we're going to be the main line of support, which is contracts through us, which is different than a little bit of how QAD normally operates, where we're more of a VAR, where in this case we are the direct provider.
That's right.
Lastly, because you said a large number there, a few million of work already sold, like 18 million, but in the number you said. Well, if someone wants to reach out to us, obviously through our website, through the podcast. But to wrap up, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that to learn more, please reach out. John and his team are here to, of course, support you in this endeavor and understanding what's available to you before you want to try to keep going it alone. We know a lot of times there's a heavy burden to organizations to manage their own infrastructure, their software, and their requirements. And as these requirements only get harder with time due to, of course, hacking and everything else that's out there, Strategic is here to support you.
Yeah, also a lot of changes to those regulations and rules, and keeping track of that is a task in itself. So we're here to support that.
That's awesome. Well, John, thank you for taking the time today. And hopefully if people want to learn more, they can reach out to us directly, and we'll guide you to a conversation where you can help people understand how we're taking risk off their plate.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.